G'day guys, Mike here. Thanks for tuning in to another episode. Just wanted to do a quick plug at the top here to remind you all that if you like this show and want to support it further, you can do so by donating as little as $1 a month at patreon.com/Radio Mike. And you can also donate once off to paypal.me/It's Radio Mike if you want to just chuck $12, which is 3 coffees a year, which is $1 a month. It really helps me just keep doing this show, which I love doing. And also head to YouTube for full video versions of this podcast. You can also check out my other podcast, 20th Century Boy, which is kind of like this podcast, but not really at all, but it's still me. So if you like me, you can listen to more of me over on that podcast. So now, without further ado, please listen to this week's episode of Harry Potter and the Boys with my good friend and guest, Mikey D. See you later. 50 years after the events of the final Harry Potter books, and Harry Potter is now headmaster of Hogwarts, ready to usher in a brand new generation of witches and wizards. My name's Radio Mike, and I love Harry Potter. In fact, I love Harry Potter so much that when I was a kid, I wrote an entire series of fan fiction books based on Hogwarts. This is book 1 in that series. Welcome to Harry Potter and the Boys. Werewolf lovers, and welcome to Harry Potter and the Boys, a Harry Potter fan fiction podcast by me, Radio Mike. Mikey D joins me on the show today.
Aloha Moras. I listened to the app. And
you listened to last week's?
I thought it was great. Aloha Moras is brilliant.
Yeah, thanks, man.
You didn't do it. Someone else sent it in. It's brilliant.
It's great to have you on the set of HP and the B. Welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
For those who don't know, Mikey D, world-renowned DJ, musician, comic mastermind, and currently doing some great content over on your Insta, which is these really funny but really cool reels where you basically play popular songs on, what's that instrument called?
It's called a melodica. So it looks like one of those talk boxes where you blow into it, and it makes an almost accordion sound. And it's the lamest instrument I could think of. And I use that in like a recorder.
Yeah, I love it. So the melodica I would describe as a piano that you have to blow like a trumpet.
Yeah, 100%.
For someone who's loosely knows music. So is it a brass instrument? Does it count? Or are
you never going down the rabbit hole of it?
Yeah. All right. So you have to blow air into it, but also press the key. So it's not a very efficient instrument.
It sucks. It really sucks. And I'll do a lot of takes of it. And a lot of the time you'll press a key and it won't even work because you've got to blow the air in a certain way.
Yeah, right.
But hey, whatever gets the views, baby, we're just about getting the clout.
Experimenting. You always got to be experimenting in this business.
You're right, Radio Mike.
Now You've come in with a zipped up for audio listeners.
Yeah.
A zipped up Kathmandu jacket, unsponsored by the way.
Unsponsored, and full disclosure, my mum bought this for me. I don't have that kind of coin, so
he does not have $250 to blow on a puffy jacket. That is, it's probably more than that. They're probably like $400.
Chill out, all right? Yeah, Mike.
No, mate, I'm just saying I couldn't afford one either. Don't worry.
There's something under here.
There's something underneath.
I was looking through the guest list and I thought there's some big names. And
name 2 of them.
Jack Post.
He's big.
And then you've also got Tim McDonald. And then you got Sammy Gallup.
Probably bigger. Well, actually, with no disrespect to Sam and Tim, I actually think the opposite. In terms of profile, I would say it goes Sam, Tim, Jack.
Yeah. Don't know how Jack got the demotion. Just working one of the biggest Brekkie radio shows. Get down there, mate. Anyways, I dressed up. I bought this costume years ago for Halloween. I never got to wear it.
Oh, well, what a perfect... Wow. You've essentially come in wearing a Hogwarts uniform.
Uh-huh. I bought the glasses, but I'm not Harry Potter.
Yeah.
But I just thought, I can still be, the character I want to play can still be impaired visually.
Wow.
So
you're Mikey Potter.
No, I'm just Mikey D. Imagine Mikey D in a world where magic is real.
Yeah.
But just same guy. Can
I touch the tie?
You can touch the tie.
Yeah, it's a good quality tie. Like they probably
man.
would. This is a Prisoner of Azkaban uniform, I think. This is what, because the uniforms change throughout the movies. I'm not sure if you've noticed that. So that's definitely, we're channeling a Prisoner of Azkaban vibe here, and you would fit in nicely. Maybe if someone is more creative who's listening, get a screenshot of Mikey and Photoshop him into one of the scenes from Prisoner of Azkaban.
But like really detailed Photoshop. Like I want the lighting to be hitting my face really well.
Yeah, we don't just want to cut out and paste onto the scene. We want it a real. If you can't do it good, don't even bother. We don't want your skills, do we?
Yeah, like that's kind of like the kind of fan base I want to build is like put the effort in or just don't rock up on the day. Like you can unfollow me, that's fine with me.
Yeah, but just put some effort in.
Color grade. That's all we ask. We don't ask for much.
We can't do it, but we want you to be able to do it. Otherwise, what are we doing here? That's awesome, man. But can I ask, when you looked at like guests like Jack Post who have been on the show previously, why did you think that your way of meeting that was wearing a costume?
Because Jack didn't, but he's already brought with him an audience.
Right.
My combative to that is if I just dress the part, people will forget that I don't have an audience, but hey, but he's trying.
Right. So do you think people are going to be like, hey, do you know Mikey D? Oh, is he the guy that wore the Hogwarts uniform on Mike's podcast?
Yeah, but didn't dress up as Harry Potter, dressed up as himself in a Gryffindor uniform.
And then someone photoshopped him into the Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban scene.
Yeah, that'd be the full conversation these two people would have.
Yeah, so that's why it needs to happen. Yeah. Awesome, man. Well, I always start with asking the guests, like, what's your experience with HP? Do you have a long running history or a short running history or a long walking history, to use an analogy?
Like a medium jog?
A medium jog.
Like I wouldn't go past like 2 kilometers. I could be around the block. But like I've been jogging for some time. It hasn't gained me fitness, but I've been jogging. Yeah. So like I wouldn't invest in ASICs.
Right.
I'd have like a pair of Brooks or New Balance.
Yeah. Or like your dad's old Nikes that he never uses anymore. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, sort of. But I guess maybe let's just be literal. Like, have you read the books? Have you watched the films?
I just started reading the books. Jim Kay released an illustrated version of the books.
Yeah, they look amazing.
They're really good. And I'm an absolute child, so I like having pictures to really spell it out for me.
Oh, that's what Hagrid looks at. That's great, because I could not have imagined that.
Yeah, J.K. Rowling's whole chapter on his beard hair just didn't quite do it for me. Yes, I've been reading those. I'm up to number 3, Prisoner of Azkaban, but only like a chapter in.
Yeah.
It's just so dark, you know.
Right. Yeah. Have you seen the films?
Seen all the films, like at least 10 times each. Like big fan of the films.
Yeah, so you have an understanding of what happens throughout the series.
Yeah.
And have you found anything interesting, like that? Because a lot of the stuff in the books doesn't happen in the movies. Have you been reading the books and you're like, oh, what? That doesn't happen? Like any examples like that?
I'm just kind of stoked they got rid of Peeves, and that's a controversial opinion.
Oh, really?
I just didn't think he was that good of a character. Like, he was just annoying. And Hermione already kind of ticked that off at the start. So I was like, you don't need Peeves to come through and hit someone's like books out of their hand. Like, come on, the kid's already got hard enough. They're about to die most days of the year.
Yeah. So you're not a Peeves fan. You've got a pet peeve for Peeves.
Oh, very good. That's very good.
What movie is your favourite?
Oh, mate. I like Order of the Phoenix.
Wow, that's not a very popular answer.
No, not
but
at
you're
all.
not a very popular guy. No, I'm just
and it's right. That's why.
That was a horrible
just take
joke.
5?
Yeah,
No,
we're taking a recess.
Like you said, you wouldn't do that. No, I like it because that's from memory, that's the one where Harry and Voldemort really come face to face again, and Voldemort takes over Harry's body. Spoilers, sorry, but really intense. Then Dumbledore and Voldemort go at each other, and I think that was pretty powerful because Daniel Radcliffe, up until there, was a pretty shit actor.
Yeah, right.
So at least he had something of like, oh, okay, he's giving it some juice.
Yeah, and also Sirius dies in that movie, which is a pretty big moment. But a good point there, like you never actually really see Dumbledore fighting anyone with magic.
Yeah, he's just the most powerful wizard of all time.
Yeah.
You just don't see it happen.
And in that, you see, like, he makes the big water, like, he covers Voldemort in water.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's really cool.
And yeah.
I've never really considered that much. And then you get the great line at the end of the film where for the entire film, Cornelius Fudge has been denying that Voldemort's back, and then he sees him and he's just like, he's back. And it's like, yes, we've been telling you for 2 years.
You've been just very ignorant to this, my friend. Yeah, man. The only thing that kind of peeved me with that movie is like, and the whole series really is, there's some things that they just can't achieve with magic that's pretty fundamental. Like, you'd think that could happen.
Right.
But then you can just wrap a man in a little like a water tornado. Like, yeah.
Like, what's an example of something you don't, like, they can't achieve? Is there anything off the top of your head? Like
a lot of the time, it's just really basic things that, like, that could have been ruled out with magic.
Yeah, sure.
I'm trying to think of a really solid example for you.
Yeah.
But like, okay, let's just go really fundamental. They don't need to eat their own food. You could
magic it into you.
Magic. It's already auto-renewing in front of you. You'd think there'd be a spell that can feed the kids like a bird, just like mashes it into their mouth.
I guess like one that I've brought up on this pod a bit is, and people have challenged me on this, but my one is there is a truth potion that exists in Harry Potter world. So in a world where a truth potion exists, why is there any need for a legal trial system, right?
Yeah.
If you can just truth potion everyone's like, hey, Sirius, did you kill the muggles? No, I didn't. Cool, you're innocent. Great. Peter Pettigrew, did you kill the muggles? Yes. Cool, in jail, right?
Yeah.
We don't need to have trials. We don't need lawyers.
Yeah.
Like, no need. And then, yeah. But instead, they go into class and it's like, hey, guys, today we're learning water tornadoes. And clearly Dumbledore paid a lot of attention in that class.
Hey, guys, we're just going to take Hagrid to the most intense prison. We don't actually know. We've got a pretty good suspicion.
That's so true. Like, Hagrid did it. Like, Hagrid could have so easily been cleared by Veritaserum. And, like, instead, Voldemort framed him. And, like, I would love to see a Harry Potter prequel about Voldemort and Hagrid's friendship at Hogwarts.
Yeah.
Because they're just such an odd... like, we don't get that much about Hagrid and Voldemort knowing each other at school and going to school together. And I think that's I don't know, I just think that's cool.
No, I agree. I think the Chamber of Secrets was, I don't know, I liked it. It kind of was a bit weird going into the book and Harry's like, I'm on the book. I'm so spooked. And it's like, your parents have been murdered in front of your eyes. You've met the darkest man in the world and you're scared to fall into a book. All right, okay. Cool.
Do you have I usually try to guess the house of the guest.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say you definitely suit Gryffindor a lot based on what I know about you.
Yeah, okay. I've never taken the test. I know there's one online. I'd say, I don't think I'm a Hufflepuff.
You wouldn't want to be. No offense to the Hufflepuffs out there.
Yeah.
We need you.
Mostly just for numbers at the games. Quidditch would be awful quiet.
Yeah.
I'd say that. I reckon if I hung around the right people, I'd be a real douchey fella, and so Slytherin, I could probably slide him in there.
Nah, no way you'd be a Slytherin, man. You're a Gryffindor through and through.
It's really nice of you. Thank you.
No, like I think no, sorry. To me, Ravenclaw's the best house, so I'm not being actually being nice. I'm just saying you'd be a Gryffindor.
But they're the smart jockey ones that are kind of none of them get murdered.
Yeah,
good on them.
So yeah, I'll be surviving. I'll be working at the Leaky Cauldron. Yeah, I'm Ravenclaw.
Yeah. You had that Tom guy with the hunchback on your older radio Tom.
And one other thing. What would be actually new question?
Okay, shake it up.
What would your boggart be? You know what boggarts are, yeah?
Just abandonment.
So what does the boggart transform into? Just like your mum being like, I don't want you. You're not my son.
You mean your dad are getting divorced again?
And then you go. So then you go ridiculous. What happens? Punked. Ashton Kutcher comes out. He's like, punked. We punked you.
They never got divorced in the first place.
Oh man,
no birds. I'm terrified of birds. Like deathly afraid of birds.
Right.
So if a big seagull came out, or even a small seagull, a normal sized seagull, that's game over.
And what would your Patronus be? Don't say a seagull.
A slightly larger bird that could take down the seagull.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Okay,
so-
awesome, man. Hey guys, before we get into the fan fiction, just another very, very quick reminder that you can support this show at patreon.com/Radio Mike or paypal.me/It's Radio Mike. If you like this show enough to give $1 a month, just go to either of those channels and donate. It really helps us keep making the content we make here at Radio Mike Productions, which is currently just me, Radio Mike, and my producer Pat, who does a bunch of amazing work for me. So if you want to keep supporting us, please go and check out some of my other stuff wherever you can find it, YouTube, podcasts, or my Instagram, radio.mike. Now over to me and Mikey D reading the fanfic. This one's a great chapter. All right. Well, that's a little bit about your experience with the pot, and not the pot, with the pot. Harry Potter is what I meant. Not
incriminating.
Not the drug pot, which, anyway, let's
Didn't
not
know
go
that
there.
kind of show. It's like, it's fine. I can get down with the streets. So.
You said you listened to last week's ep with Jack, so I guess have you listened to any others? Okay, if it's no.
No, and I'm full disclosure here.
Yeah.
I was listening to it last night before bed, and I reckon I can't even tell you how long I got through.
Yeah, before
but it wasn't for the actual, I didn't get to the chapter.
Did you fall asleep or did you turn it off?
I fell asleep.
Okay, well that's better than
It
being
was
like,
late.
oh, fuck this, I've had enough.
No, it was just late.
Yeah, cool.
But I was there. I was there at the
All
start.
right, so I'll do a quick fill in of where
Thank
we're
you.
at in
Yeah.
the FF fanfic. Basically, like, look, I think I speak for all of the listeners when I say, look, we're not really sure what's happening. They're essentially like, there seems to be some conspiracy that happened in the past in the book where the boys' potions teacher, Mr. Charger, who is a very mean teacher, and another man, Boris Mailman, have some kind of
what he does.
they have some kind of conspiracy, and we found out in last chapter that Boris Mailman's son, Dragon Mailboy. Well, we found out that he's Dragon Mailboy's father, and that Mailboy died at the start of the book, but he doesn't seem to be dead. He seems to be coming back from the dead. Which is
there any kind of celebration around this? Or you just kind of pop in?
Not yet. And the other thing is, at the boys are currently, for the last maybe 10 chapters, every time something bad happens in their lives, a note drops from the sky that has a letter on it, and they're called the ill-fated measures. And there's this prophecy that when 10 ill-fated measures are reached, one person will die, and they are now at 9 ill-fated measures, right?
You wrote this at 13.
Apparently so. And,
Wow.
And the most recent ill-fated measure, the 9th one, had a note on it that said Legame roto, which translates from Latin to English as broken link, because the boys had a big fight and now they're feuding with each other. So, I open the fanfic to the next chapter, which you will be reading, and we pick up essentially there. That was the end of the last chapter, Legame roto. So we'll open Harry Potter and the Boys. Where are we at? We are at this chapter here, chapter 21.
Okay.
We always start by reading the name of the chapter and just scroll down as you read.
Okay.
And Mikey D, take it away.
Thank you,
Go
Radio Mike.
Go through the door. I feel like it's a bit like Thank God You're Here, when they're like, step through the door. Thank God You're Here.
Don't get me started on Thank God You're Here. Do you mind if I take my spectacles off? I don't want to break character.
You do whatever you
I
want.
can't actually see very well with them.
So most people wear glasses to read. You're actually taking your glasses off to read, which,
correct.
all right. Just dismiss that message that's just popped up and click back into pages.
Okay.
Here we go, guys. Mikey D.
It's too late to tell you I can't read.
Yes. We've contracted you to this. Here we go.
Chapter 21. I'm sorry, that's the child in me. The Shaft of Life.
Yeah, now I don't think that me in Year 7 knew that a shaft was also the name of like the bulk of your penis. So I think you're laughing because of that, I assume.
Yeah,
I
not
don't-
the light part, not the shaft for sure.
I
just
don't
to
think
clarify.
there's any subtext here. I don't
Okay.
think like it's a tower of light.
It's not just a large entendre for the entire chapter about a palace.
All right.
Opening. Stinky Winky Pipsy Wawa Poo, Derek sung.
Okay.
He just fell in love with a new TV show called The Smelly Blubbies.
Which seems to be quite a obvious parody of the Teletubbies.
Yeah, I'd like to
Stinky
think
Winky,
so. Yeah.
Tinky Winky.
Shaft.
No, not. We've moved on from Shaft.
I don't think I've ever watched the Teletubbies. He walks down a hall singing the song. I just want to let you know, at some point I want to have an accent come out. I don't know when it's going to come.
Mate, you bring the characters to life however you see fit.
Just wanted to let you know that.
Yeah, great. As long as it's not racist, that's okay. Like, please don't do a racist accent. You're Italian. Do an Italian accent.
So it says I can only do what my heritage is.
Well, I'll leave it up to you to decide what accent is appropriate.
And what's not.
At the end of the day, I'm not doing it, so I will not be cancelled for anything Mikey
Very
D
good.
says.
No, very well.
Yeah.
Very well there.
Thank you. But I'm still complicit. Like, I'm still like, hey, you do whatever you want. I will determine whether I laugh or not. You do it.
Full disclaimer, this is Mike's idea. This is all pre-scripted.
Yeah. Hey, man, I think it would be such a good idea if during the pod you do a racist accent. No, I did not say that.
Just choose from the list of racial accents. Okay.
Here we go.
He met up with Michael and Rob, who were on their way to Hermione's office because they'd received the 9th ill-fated measure.
Told ya.
Thank you.
I didn't lie.
Thank you. You're good.
Now, so just for context, Michael and Rob, two of the main boys.
Yeah.
Derek, one of the side boys, and certainly the most idiotic of the boys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hermione's got an office. Is she now a teacher at the school?
Hermione is deputy headmistress. So essentially, Hermione is like McGonagall, I think.
Wow. Okay, so this is set sometime
50 years after the last movie
that is
slash book.
very good to know.
And-
Okay.
I'm sorry, I should have said Harry is the headmaster now.
Ah,
And Ron is defense against the dark arts teacher.
poor choice. Right. If you remember from one of the past chapters.
This is written in the book. Just,
Very good. Yeah, very good. Hermione told them to come and see her when they received the 9th ill-fated measure.
So never in J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter does she go, now, if you remember back in book 2, I mentioned this diary.
She wasn't ballsy enough.
Yeah. Like, real authors spell it out to their readers.
Yeah.
They just say, hey, this is what's happening. It's tell, it's not show, don't tell. Right? It's like, guys, if you're not following, this is specifically what is happening right now. Like, piece it together, but I will spell it out for you.
I'd like to think if this was properly published, it'd just have like little sticky notes.
A footnote. Turn back to page 255 to learn all about what happened previously.
Yeah, just in case you did not remember.
There's an an appendix at the end of the book. It just shows you all mentions of this thing. Yeah.
The appendix is longer than the book. They still weren't talking, but they were both thinking the same thing. Legame rotto. What did it mean?
Now, I guess I should have specified to you. Me and Jack looked it up after. The boys don't know what it means.
Okay.
But me and Jack Googled
Right.
it. Google translated it.
Yeah,
So,
right.
I guess that's called irony. We know what it means. The characters don't at this point.
Wow.
And I assume they don't have Google Translate in Wizarding World, so they can't just easily...
dropping the ball again, like you've got magic.
Like, surely there would be a spell where you can just hand write a word and be like, translato Japaneso, and it translates the English to Japanese.
I'll be real with you. Wizards of Waverly Place, if you've ever watched it,
Is that the Selena Gomez one?
It 100% was. This is pre-Selena being the biggest thing in the world.
Yeah.
And they had a spell in that show, in the movie, by the way. I did watch the movie of it, where you could put subtitles in real life as someone's talking. Brilliant.
Yeah, but that, like, if that was the case, like, would we see them, like, would they be here for us?
Yes, like legit physical.
So it wouldn't really help because we'd just be seeing, like, the tops of letters.
Okay, no, I get what you're saying.
Like if like I'm standing up, if the subtitles were here, I'd really just see like lines because I'd just be seeing the top of the letters.
Hey, it's all about perspective, baby. You just gotta be
Like if someone was watching from there, they would see the subtitles. Yeah.
Okay, now I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a spell to then move the subtitles.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So they could come up in front of our faces.
Yeah. Two separate spells, but you know.
Yeah. Did you watch a lot of Wizards of Waverly? Like, tell me, between Harry Potter and Wizards of Waverly Place, what have you consumed more?
Oh, this.
Or what do you know more about?
No, I know more about Harry Potter, but I did watch my fair share of Wizards of Waverly Place.
Have you ever watched Little Witch Academia? Which is it's like the anime Harry Potter? Like it's about a all girls witch school where they learn how to be witches.
No.
Well, it's awful. Good. It's terrible.
I watched an ABC show about young witches at
The Worst Witch.
Yeah.
Henrietta Hubble.
Yes.
That was a British show as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
That was a pretty good show, The Worst Witch with Henrietta Hubble.
Wow, you got a memory. That's why they call you Radio Mike.
No, they don't call me read-only memory, Mike.
Very good, very good. We should have like a little highlight of the podcast just flash on the screen. That's solid.
All right,
so
continuing with
Rob's
the
coming
FF.
I feel like, okay.
We should clarify because it is hard to tell. The last 3 or 4 minutes weren't part of the FF. No. That was me and Mikey D riffing off each other. Now we enter the FF again.
We did digress, but now I'm fully back into it.
Fully back in.
And just letting you know, I'm about to do an accent. It's not going to be racist though. Just now that I've prefaced that, it can't be racist because I've said that.
Yeah, okay.
All right?
Yeah. You can't get cancelled if you disclaim that you're going to do something.
Yes, that's how that works.
Okay, cool. I didn't know that rule. I did not know that rule, but yeah.
Ignorant. That's whatever.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Derek, said Rob.
What is that?
British. That was British.
Okay.
So I'll do it again.
Well, I guess like this is kind of sorry to bring this up,
no,
but
it's
like
okay.
I guess in the universe of this book, that was Rob speaking in that British accent.
Yes,
but I guess in the universe of the book, the kids are British. So I guess you're doing an accent, but that is what the boys might sound like IRL.
So you don't think there could be like a foreign... no, now I get it. So maybe okay.
I guess it would maybe have to be maybe Rob could be Scottish.
Maybe... All right, Scottish.
I'm going to just put it out. If you are used to the Rob character being British, I'm just going to say him being Scottish is non-canon, but it is a creative choice that Mikey D has channeled into this character today.
Yeah, it's like the Phantom of the Opera. Sometimes they make character choices within the actor and it just brings the whole performance to a different kind of life.
Yeah.
I just want to bring that kind of magic to this reading of the FF.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Of the HPFF? Yeah.
The HPBFF.
HPATBFF, I guess.
Yeah, with RM
if we're going for
an MD.
with RM.
If we could just speak in abbreviations the entire time.
We'll just try and do that.
Okay, maybe he's Russian. Excuse me, Derek.
Actually...
No.
Well, it's up to you.
No, it's fine. You know what? I'm just going to be Australian. Okay. Excuse me, Derek, said Rob. Said Rob wasn't the quote though, since now it's lost.
Now it's hard because you're doing an Australian accent for the character, but then all the narrator stuff like said Rob.
No, say no more.
Okay.
Say no more.
SNM.
Excuse...
Well...
You'll see what I'm about to do and you'll be like, oh, that makes so much more sense now that you've done that.
All right.
Excuse me, Derek. Said Rob, could you please tell Michael to stop walking so close to me?
Okay, so what you did was you made an enunciation change as opposed to an accent change. Right?
So off-air me is now going to be British, but then I'm going to read the fan fiction in Australian.
Now this is going to get confusing, but I love it.
I'm already lost.
The book's already confusing. Let's make it more difficult for people to follow. Okay, so Michael and Rob are fighting, so that's why that's why this is happening, I guess.
Sidebar, so the characters will be Australian.
Yeah.
But then everything else is going to be British.
But now but when you talk to me, you're normal you.
Yeah, so this is different though. This isn't the fan fiction.
This is the RL, real life.
Yeah, this is RLFF for the HBB.
Okay.
RM.
Gotcha. Okay. All right.
Fuck. British.
Right. You've done this to yourself.
I'm so sorry.
By the way, we are still on we've just started page 2 of this chapter.
I'm so sorry for you inviting me on this. Okay. Excuse me, Derek, said Michael. Could you tell Rob that this corridor is very small and I can't help walking so close to him?
A fair rebuttal.
Yeah.
I think we'd agree.
Excuse me, Derek. Rob said, slightly raising his voice, tell Michael that he smells.
Now, I just want to disclaim that I don't think the character Michael really smells. I think that it's just like saying, oh, you stink, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, okay. So an offhanded insult.
Yeah, offhanded insult. And OHI, offhand insult.
Yeah. I am really good. RG, RM.
RGRM.
Comma RM.
TY, MD.
MB. Much obliged. MBD.
Wait, what?
Much blood. Oh, Emma.
All right.
Okay, so now I'm about to go back into the Australian accent of the characters, but
Yes.
this isn't Mikey D. This is the characters.
Gotcha.
Just wanted to keep everyone up to date.
Yeah.
Cool.
UTD, which sounds like an STD, but UTD
Urinary
up
tract.
to date.
Yeah. Sorry. Okay. Excuse me, Derek. Said Michael, clearly yelling, "Tell Rob that the smell he is smelling is not me. It is in fact himself."
Wow. Thrown it right back at him.
"Excuse me, Derek," screamed Rob. "Tell Michael that if he doesn't stop being an idiot, I will speak to the headmaster."
All caps. So Mikey D was really channeling the book there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to, like, as true as I can be to this book.
And how do you think that conversation goes? It's like, sorry, headmaster, Michael's just being an idiot. Oh, well, we're going to send him into detention for that. Like, what do you think?
Azkaban, I'd say, would probably be the rightful punishment for that.
We're sentencing you to Azkaban for being an idiot.
You stinky fuck.
First of all, you stink. Second of all, you're an idiot. Head into Azkaban. 2 years should do it.
Just shack up with Hagrid in there, big guy. Okay. Derek couldn't take it anymore. He was shaking, and suddenly his head blew up and he turned into a robot. I think we need a sidebar on that one.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
his head blew up.
Yeah.
Which is a horrific thing
So
to happen.
This hasn't happened before.
No.
Okay, so I just want
dear God,
your
no.
reaction was very like, oh yep, classic, just
No.
gone
like-
to a robot, right?
And also, I guess is the robot that he becomes, is that a human? No, does the robot have a head, or is it a headless robot, nearly headless robot?
I'm feeling like the head's blown up, and so that the head is now off the neck, right?
Yeah,
so it's
right.
Just neck with a little bit, the blood coming out, of course.
Yeah.
Or so we can assume, because he's now a robot.
Yeah.
But I feel like a little robot head's coming out of the neck now.
Emerging, yeah.
Yeah. It's like
Yeah.
a Men in Black type thing.
Yeah, like that. I like that. An MIB.
Yeah, I am. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to read the book again.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
I'm going to try not to digress.
No. Yeah, let's do it.
This must be infuriating.
No, this is what the podcast's all about. Wasting everyone's time.
Loyal fan base. Thanks for being here. All right.
I don't know if the listeners of this show like this part, or if they're like, hey, can we please keep reading the book? We just want to know. Please just tell us what happens. But no, I like it this way. So
All right. So it's not about the audience.
no.
It's not how it works.
No.
Unless you're really good at Photoshop, because still...
Then please,
Yeah.
as we said earlier.
Yeah, great. Okay, so the head's blown up and he's turned into a robot. Well, everything was true except for the bit where his head blew up and he turned into a robot.
Right, so the digression we've just had, which has gone for probably 3 to 4 minutes
Yes.
again, all not relevant because the author has used a technique of lying to the reader
Yeah.
in the book.
Or as they call it, a red herring in the biz.
Well, it's not really even a red herring because it's like J.K. Rowling never went like, and then Harry died immediately on the spot, and then they all went to his funeral.
Just
Just kidding. Like, no, authors don't really do that. So, like, a red herring is like something that's deliberately deceptive, but makes you think that could happen.
Yeah.
But like, I don't even think this is like a I don't know, like a grey herring, if anything. Like, it doesn't even get colour.
I think you're being too critical. I think
Yeah,
when
okay.
you're ballsy enough to try and change the writing game, I mean,
Yeah.
it's been done for years.
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
you take a chance on yourself.
Yeah.
And I think you just got to give yourself full credit.
Thanks,
that was
man.
brilliant because
Thanks,
I was
mate.
hooked into a robot
Yeah,
coming
true.
into the story and then
True.
not there anymore.
Yeah.
Not there anymore. Really good. Strong.
It would have been cool.
Yeah. That
It didn't happen.
Yeah. Yeah. It was good. It was.
There's also another thing JK never did, which is introduce a cooler concept and then be like, no, that didn't happen. We're still where we were at.
Oh, you know what? JK's gone around and flipping the script at the moment.
She is a bit, isn't she?
Yeah, she's just
Fantastic
diversifying
beast.
the cast, and I love it. Yeah, all power to you, JK.
Yeah.
Change the whole story.
Good work.
The boys walked into Hermione's office.
So we're finally there. It's we're 32 mins into the pod. We've hit Hermione's office, which is where we were trying to get to at the start.
Yeah. Excuse me, Hermione. What does Legame Rotto mean? Said Rob. I don't know. Hermione said. Sorry, Hermione. Excuse his stupidity. said Michael, but we've received the 9th ill-fated measure.
Ooh.
I see, said Hermione.
Yeah.
I think it is now appropriate for me to show you this.
Ooh.
This is you could just hit the sound effects when you want to. Like maybe the horn.
There's no... like the...
Whenever you're ready, though.
Hermione is going to show them something that previously wasn't appropriate. I wonder if it's something pornographic. And knowing this book, it could be.
I mean, the kind of... the title of the chapter is
Shaft of
alluding...
Light.
Hermione. The boys stepped into the
pensieve, which is that memory thing.
Right, okay, great.
Yeah.
The boys stepped into the pensieve. They appeared in the corridor that Boris Mailman had walked in to get to the room with the star thingamajig.
Now, the star thingamajig is a big tower with a star on it, which is on the cover of this podcast, the artwork. Okay. I believe that is the Shaft of Light.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
This is all
it's
the
all
dots
coming
connecting.
together. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure the robot will have a play in this and eventually.
Yeah.
Okay, good. 2 boys appeared, but it wasn't Mr. Charger and Boris Mailman. It was themselves.
What?
It was definitely Michael and Rob walking together.
Now, that's very weird.
That's impossible, said Rob.
That's what the readers were thinking. So that's great that Rob said it out loud to affirm that.
The writing is actually so good because you're there thinking something that immediately it's on the paper and you think, great, I'm glad someone else agrees.
We're all on the same
Yeah.
page. Because to be honest, sometimes when I read like big books, sometimes I'm genuinely like, I'm not really sure what's happening. Like, I wish more books would do this. Like, the author just does a note that's like, hey, just so you know, yes, this is referring to this, or yes, this is that. Yeah, I think that would be great.
If Eckhart Tolle could do that in The Power of Now, it's like, hey guys, when I say like get deep into your own psyche, I just meant like, chill out for a sec.
Just chill, have a think, get some zen.
This is how I do it.
That's what I do. Like, there needs to be little, like, the book and then the author clarifying it for people who might be stuck, which is me all the time. Yeah, the footnotes. Like, every time I read a book that's not Harry Potter, I'm just like, I do not know what's going on.
You know who you'd like? Specky McGee did footnotes. Gary Lyon.
Very clear.
Did it. Very clear.
Yeah.
For adults, I'm sure.
For adults and kids, but mainly adults.
Adults first. And then I think when the adults fully get the story, you can read it to your child.
Pass it on to the kids. Yeah. Next generation.
Yeah. That's look, we're digressing again.
We've digressed. We've DG'd.
We're back in.
We've DG'd.
I've never wheezed through my chest like I have today.
Yeah, man.
All right.
There's first for everything.
It was definitely Michael and Rob walking together. That's impossible, said Rob. It was true. It was impossible.
Now, sorry to DG again, but like, so
I was getting into it.
The character said that's impossible, and then just in case your thoughts weren't reaffirmed enough, the narrator then goes, "It was true. It was impossible." We're all on the same page.
I imagine young 13-year-old Mike just glasses at the edge of the nose, just. It's true.
This will really clear it out for them.
And then brings back to Quillen to the ink and keeps on going. All right. It was true. It was impossible. Michael and Rob had never walked in this corridor before. Now the boys are walking to the exact same spot that Boris walked to. They whispered, "Troll," just like Boris did in the previous memory that Hermione had shown them, and walked in. There's no exclamation there. It's
easy. Yeah, creative liberty.
Thank you. They quickly put on an invisibility cloak. The real boys didn't need to use an invisibility cloak. It was just a memory. They weren't really there.
So let's just... Now, the author hasn't done the tactic of clearing it up, but we're on the same page here. So Michael and Rob are viewing a memory of themselves walking down a hallway.
Yes.
So, yeah, cool. I just wanted to make sure.
No,
everyone...
good.
Yeah,
good,
cool.
Thank you. I wasn't on board.
Yeah.
And now I am on board.
Cool.
I'm really hating I committed to the British accent. But
feel free to drop it if you want.
No.
The listeners would get confused. We're this far in.
We're here now.
Yeah.
They saw a much younger version of Mr. Charger and Boris Mailman. They were probably first years as well. Even as an 11-year-old, Mr. Charger's defining feature was being tall and lanky and looking like a bit of an idiot. Think of the biggest idiot at your school. That's kind of what he looked like. Now I think this is a moment for us to pause.
Yeah. So
and just think about
who is the biggest idiot from your school?
Had to be classic Michael or maybe like Dylan. Yeah.
Don't name him.
That's all right.
They knew.
They'll be all right.
But I think, and not to say this again, but another thing JK never did was like ask the reader of her books to be like, hey, like Hagrid was, a big fat guy. Think of the tallest, fattest person you know. That's kind of what Hagrid looks like.
I think Harry Potter would have sold a lot more copies if she had him. So, Mike, again, I'll ask you from the book. What was the biggest idiot at your school, Mike?
Oh, the biggest idiot at my school. I don't like this.
You can use an alias for the idiot, okay? But just make sure to tell me.
I'll tell you after.
The biggest idiot that I know from my school, so I can picture your idiot.
Well, no, I think that's not what the author is telling you to do. The author's just saying, no, the author's saying,
the author.
Yeah, but like you don't know, I don't have to share to you or anyone else. Like it's just to get an image in your own head. Like I've got in my head the biggest idiot at my school. Okay. And now I'm like, that's kind of what Mr. Charger. So really everyone's idea of him is going to be different. Right?
Would you say that the biggest idiot at your school kind of looks like the biggest idiot that I know potentially at my school?
Well, that's impossible to tell, right? Like, because we just don't know.
Right.
We'd have to compare afterwards. Actually, after the pod, we will show each other the biggest idiot from each other's school, and then we'll just see if they look similar.
Okay. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going back into the book now, so you can hear an Australian accent. Just want to clarify.
Back into the book.
I finished it, Boris. The shaft of light. Oh, wait, this is all the same. Sorry. We finished it, Boris. The shaft of light. Now we will start, said young Mr. Charger idiotically.
So he is an idiot.
You've deduced that really well. I will enjoy this, said Mailman. It's good that we are some of the strongest wizards in the world and we can already use the killing curse.
Interesting.
Yes, and I think we should start by Avada Kedavra!
Wow.
Mr. Charger yelled, pointing his wand at the invisibility cloak that boys were under. The boys were under. Rob fell to the ground. He was death. He
was death. Now, one can only wonder here, is it supposed to say he was dead? Or has Rob, in being killed, become death? Like, has he become the Grim Reaper?
I don't know how you've got a smile on your face right now. Because someone's just dead. Someone's just been dead.
Yeah, so I think it should be he was dead. But, typos. No one edited this book.
Creative choice, mate.
Could be.
All right. One Mudblood is dead, said Mailman. Avada Kedavra, he yelled.
Wow.
Pointing his wand straight at the memory of Michael, who was crying as he stared at his dead friend, or what he used to think was his friend.
Wow.
He was dead too.
Wow. So Michael and Rob are both dead. But they are both alive watching the memory of them dying.
It's still traumatic.
Yeah, I know, but it doesn't really make sense at this stage.
Well, Mike, it's still traumatic. If you watched us sitting over in chairs over there and we just dramatically died, wouldn't you just feel a little bit something?
Not really, because I know that I'm alive. Like, I just feel like, well, I'm still alive, so that can't be. I'd just be like, that's probably not real. So I would say the boys are idiots for thinking that this is real.
Okay, A to D on this one. Just going to agree to disagree.
All right.
A to D'ing. We're going to stop D'ing now. Digressing, of course.
DGing. I already did that one.
Oh, you DGing?
Yeah, we're DGing.
It's still one word, but that's good.
Still
it's good.
It's 2 syllables.
D could mean anything.
D could be anything.
No, we know DG. Yeah, of course.
DG.
Great. You're going to have to continue this throughout the rest of the series, by the way.
Just a bit of a DG.
He was dead too. But he was a half-blood. But it still counts. Mailman said, how many people do we have to kill? 20, said Mr. Charger. And one has to be the second most powerful wizard in the world. Who? Asked Miss Mailman. Asked Mailman.
Mailman.
Sorry, not Miss Mailman. Just to clarify, Mailman is still, I believe, a man.
Yeah, there's been no transition within the last time he was mentioned. At this point,
JK might come round, buy out the series.
Highly unlikely that JK would feature a trans character based on what we now know about her.
Yeah.
But possibly in this.
No, you're
possibly in this.
By the way, when we say JK, we don't mean just kidding. We mean JK Rowling.
We don't mean JK Simmons or any other JK.
Yeah, I just feel like people are getting a bit lost in it, so I just
Yeah.
want to make sure we clarify it. Yeah,
We
good.
see-fi it.
Good.
So who is the second most powerful wizard in the world?
Who? Ask Mailman. Ron Weasley.
Wow.
But at least I have my mental eye that can see through invisibility cloaks, Mr. Charger replied.
Now that's another. Okay, he
Definitely,
has a mental eye that can see through invisibility cloaks.
Yeah. Yeah,
no previous context to that.
I think we've all got a mental eye that can see invisibility cloaks.
It's just how you use it.
I think it's pretty profound stuff in here,
Yeah.
mate. I think, it's tough because when you get writing that's this profound, it's hard to question it.
Yeah.
It's pretty ironclad.
I'm nearly in tears.
Yeah, as you should be.
Not
people.
even because of the deaths, just because of the writing.
Yeah, boy did just death. You're right. Well, I guess it was just bad luck for Carmichael and Robson.
That's Michael and Rob's surnames. Yeah.
Okay, good. That's really good for me to know. Said Mailman, come on, let's go. We might get caught. Said Mr. Charger.
So these two 11-year-olds have just murdered two other 11-year-olds at
Right.
school. Pretty crazy stuff.
Right. There's a lot of dialogue in this.
Yeah, a lot of dialogue. I think we've nearly wrapped this, chappy.
Okay. I didn't want to check because I'm really enjoying
Do you want to
myself.
leave? Are you like, oh God, when is this shit over?
No, I'm just thinking I just want to plan out the British accent and the Australian accent in the head. The switching is getting difficult.
Yeah.
Des Blost. Is that
I guess that's a spell.
That's okay.
Desblost.
in italics?
In italics, they're usually spells.
Mailman said, pointing his wand at the bodies of Michael and Rob as they disappeared. Michael and Rob exited the pensive. Exited the pensive. I can't read in the British accent. They were both confused. In fact, everybody in the book was probably confused at this point.
It's like when Dumbledore dies, that classic paragraph from J.K. Rowling. Everyone in this book was sad.
And shocked even. No one
Shocked,
thought it
sad.
was Snape.
No one thought it was Snape. Just so you know, the reader, everyone in the book currently is sad. If that indicates how you should feel, that's up to you.
Nothing's left to the imagination here. Nothing. Okay. Everybody in the book was probably confused at this point. I don't think even the author of the book has any real idea of what is going on right now and was possibly just making a lot of this stuff up as he went along.
Possible.
Now we know. Okay, good. I'm just going to keep going. No digressions. Who knows? Not me.
Who knows? Not me. That's the narrator speaking.
This is brilliant.
Who knows? Well, you're the narrator, mate. If anyone should know, it's you.
It's not me. Don't look at this guy. No.
Like, you're telling the story, yeah, but I don't know.
Just wait. You just wait.
You gotta read on.
I might work it out later.
In another chapter.
That's for sure. Anyway, where were we? Oh, that's right. The confusion. Hermione looked at them. Was that us? Asked Rob. No. Said Hermione. They were your fathers.
Wow. So the two people we thought were Michael and Rob were actually their fathers. And now I think this was me trying to maybe channel in the Prisoner of Azkaban movie. Harry thinks he sees himself. Harry thinks he sees his father across the lake, but it's actually him.
Yeah.
So I guess this is me maybe trying to channel that a bit.
Parallels. Nice.
Yeah,
No, really good.
Couple parallels. Parallels. No, parallels.
PILs?
PLs.
A couple of PLs.
PLs.
Just a couple of PLs, but we DG.
We DG.
Anyways, RM.
Let's get back to it. Let's GBTI.
My
GBTI.
brain is not fast enough to get that one. No, that's impossible, said Michael.
And sorry to interrupt again.
Yeah, go.
It is impossible because if the fathers died when they were 11, how did they have children? You know,
I'd assume this is, and I don't want to presume anything, but I assume this is kind of like the robot explosion head thing.
so the end of the chapter. By the way, none of this chapter happened. Next chapter.
Yeah, which is all good books. A really strong literary technique, if I remember from high school.
It was all just a bad dream.
Yeah. but you're one stronger than that. It just didn't happen.
Didn't happen. Sorry, guys. I was lying. I started telling a completely different story that did not happen. Please read on.
The teacher taught you this. I love it. Okay. No, that's impossible, said Michael. They look remarkably like you, said Hermione. How are we alive then? Asked Rob. I don't think I can tell you that right now, said Hermione. But tell me what you've learned.
And Hermione channeling classic Dumbledore there, which is, I know, but I don't want to tell you at the moment, which is a terrible technique.
No, or is it keeping me on the edge of my seat?
Well, yeah, true.
Yeah, true. I think you've just taken the best bits of Harry Potter, potentially made it even better.
That's what I was aiming to do.
I will buy a hard copy of this.
Well, cool.
Let's
fund it.
This is the GoFundMe episode.
Yeah. I'll set it up after this.
Yeah, insert ad. That big star thing is called the Shaft of Light or something, said Rob. And that our dads had an invisibility cloak, said Michael. And that, Mr. Charger, was a murderer at the idiotic age of 11.
Never had an age being described as idiotic.
11-year-olds these days.
80s and old age. 5, idiotic age. Every age has its mood.
5 through 11, just freaking stupid.
Pretty idiotic.
Yeah.
16, bit clumsy.
Not
80,
idiotic, though.
80 is a dying age.
Yeah. 28.
Yeah, that's a crazy age.
It's crazy. Young Mike just got a chart just from 1 to 100, describing
An
words.
adjective, yeah. and Addy J.
Is what's called in the biz.
In the biz.
Okay, where was I at? And that Mr. Charger was a murderer at the idiotic age of 11, said Rob. And he's going to kill Ron Weasley, said Michael. Someone used to have said, I love it. What? Said Hermione. Look, said Michael. Sorry, this is great.
It's a rapid fire dialogue. It's very realistic.
Very quick. And there's so many characters. Like, you got a lot of balls in the air.
Yeah,
He's young 13-year-old Michael. You're mostly just putting these in just to keep track of it for yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. What? Said Hermione. Look, said Michael. I kept all of the ill-fated measure notes. He pulled out the notes from his pocket. Look at these letters. Ron Weasley. Ron Weasel. Sorry, it says Ron Weasel.
So the 9 letters of the ill-fated measures now spell out R-O-N-W-E-A-S-L-E.
Okay, so that's where, I probably should have listened to all the podcasts.
That's the first time you actually needed to listen to the to the
that's
episode.
on me. Audience, I'm so sorry. That's on me.
It's on him.
I'd still
it's
like
OH. Bit of OH.
You can do the Photoshop still. Please, I would. Yeah. Just that's on me.
And keep listening. There's a bit to go.
OM. OH.
Yeah.
Okay.
And by OM, it's not Order of Merlin, which is something that appears in the Harry Potter series. It's on me.
Yeah.
Which is OH on him.
Yeah. Anyways, let's
GBTI.
Thank you. My brain still couldn't do that fast. If I'm not mistaken, the last letter on the last ill-fated... Oh, that's bad. The Australian accent. Here we go. If I'm not mistaken, the last letter on the last ill-fated measure will be a Y. He said, of course, said Rob. Very clever, said Hermione. I hadn't even figured that out.
So Hermione hadn't figured it out yet.
Yeah. Wow, they're a step ahead of the headmistress. Brilliant. The co-headmistress.
Deputy headmistress.
Yeah, the Dep.
DHM.
Thanks, said Michael. It was pretty obvious though, and no offense, Hermione, but you definitely look like a bit of an idiot right now. Like, it's pretty obvious that they were spelling out Ron Weasley the whole time, and you're supposed to be the smartest witch of your age. I mean, she's what, like 50 now?
She's like probably 70. I'm the smartest witch of my age.
Right. And you couldn't figure that out? Idiot alert. Idiot alert. This isn't me saying it. This is in the book.
Idiot alert. And imagine saying that to the headmaster of your school. Idiot alert.
Things I do to say that to my principal. I love it. All right. There were some sirens that sounded and a policeman came in. Hello.
Idiot alert. Idiot alert. Woo, woo, woo. And then it's like, what happens next?
All right. It's my police voice. Hello. I'm from the from the idiot police. I got a report that there was an idiot in the vicinity, said the policeman.
So Michael says, idiot alert, idiot alert. A policeman,
Yeah.
which I don't even know if there are police in Harry Potter. A policeman.
Well, no, there's the idiot police, though.
The idiot police.
Yeah.
So a member of the idiot police comes in
Yeah.
and says, sorry,
Different
guys,
faculty.
sorry to
Yeah.
interrupt. I've got to report there's an idiot in the area. I just got to do my job. Is there an
Yeah.
idiot around?
Yeah,
And then-
you're correct. You watch how it gets dealt with. I might have read ahead, but I think you're going to really like it. Avada Kedavra, said Mahatma Gandhi, and the policeman had died.
So Mahatma Gandhi, who is
God rest his soul.
who's dead
Yeah, R.I.P.
already, and this book is set 50 years after Deadly Yellow, so he's very dead. Who, as far as I'm aware, is not involved with the Harry Potter universe in any way, appears seemingly out of nowhere to murder a policeman, almost like to wrap up this skit within the world.
I see. No, my mind went a different direction.
Okay.
Hear me out.
Yeah, HMO.
I think that there's a whole backstory that it's a prequel.
Yeah, right. Harry Potter and the Idiot Police.
Yeah, and it's almost like Bad Boys Will Smith type thing, where it's Mahatma Gandhi and the policeman, and they're just two bad boys rolling the streets. Had a great work dynamic.
Yeah.
Had maybe 3-4 movies, maybe like 1 10 years afterwards. It had a massive budget.
Yeah.
And then after that fourth, maybe they just fell out with each other, and then maybe like one of them put like a Gary Lyon, slept with someone else's wife or something. Really dark
So we're going
stuff.
from Bad Boys to real life AFL scandals.
Yeah. So stay with me. And then
Gary Lyon was a AFL player who notoriously like shacked up with his best friend's wife.
yeah, BB.
Billy Brownless.
Yeah, for us as we know him in the industry. Yeah.
Friends with James Brayshaw, who me and Jack spoke about last week on the show that people seem to like. James Brayshaw does a lot of this. Oh, wow! Like that kind of stuff. Would you agree?
Well, yeah.
Oh, he's got another one! That's the bit of James. So, you know, lots of international listeners to this pod. A lot of fun in AFL commentary.
Yeah. And look, read Specky McGee and you'll totally understand all of this.
Yeah.
Also written by Gary Lyon. This is pre-scandal, Gary Lyon.
Gary Lyon, pre-scandal, wrote.
Yeah, and Phyllis Arena. Don't want to cut out Phyllis. Definitely had a part in Specky McGee.
And he was not an AFL player. He was a writer.
Can we start a podcast called Keeping Up with Specky McGee? I'm DJing.
Keeping up with the McGees.
Keeping Up with the McGee. Keeping Up with Simon. Okay, so the policeman had died, by the way. Hermione started talking again. Now,
we can only assume Hermione's just seen all this play out and just been like, okay.
Another day in the office.
And the other thing is, in a previous chapter, God came down from the sky to kill a student, right? So it seems like in this book, much like the real Harry Potter, any character from the real world can appear in the book and just murder someone with no consequences.
It's called a cinematic universe, I think is what you've created before Marvel even did it.
Yeah, so that's pretty crazy. But
brilliant.
Not even Marvel combined their cinematic universe with the real world. Right?
No.
That's pretty crazy.
I'm so sure. I've never read the Bible before, but I'm going to go ahead and assume that there are definitely references to Harry Potter and the boys in the Bible. Yeah.
Or at least little Easter eggs.
Something.
You know, like one of the boys is in the background when Jesus was crucified or something.
Yeah, like you look at the Last Supper and I'm sure there's like a pair of like circular spectacles or something like that. There's something going on.
Yeah. You know.
Yeah.
And guys, please Photoshop Mikey D into the Last Supper as well.
Yeah, actually that'd be a lot appreciated. I'll put it on my Instagram. Yeah. You're welcome. All right.
Cool.
Hermione started talking. We should just read through a chunk of it. Hey, all right.
Okay, let's do this.
Hermione started talking again. Now, there is one more, but this one is, no, I will show you this later. It is unimportant at the moment, said Hermione. But Hermione, please tell us, how are we alive? It's impossible, said Rob. I have a theory, but I just can't tell you now, Hermione said. So you weren't even alive when your parents died? Asked Luke once Rob and Michael finished explaining. I don't recall a Luke. I'm going to be honest with you. Was there a Luke the whole time?
I feel like the author has neglected to mention. Like, I think this is now I think between Hermione saying, I have a theory, but I just can't tell you now.
Yep.
Now they've left Hermione's office and they're back in like the Gryffindor common room. Luke is one of the other boys, but the author just decided that you, the reader, should just deduce that yourself.
The author was in shock that Mahatma Gandhi appeared in the book just as much as we were.
Like, oh my God, my God.
This is brilliant. All right. So Luke has now made an appearance. Asked Luke once Rob and Michael finished explaining. Yeah, said Rob. But Hermione won't tell us why, said Michael. Michael, 5 o'clock! Tom had just run into the room. The concert, said Michael. He was so angry because he thought that he was going to get an apology from Rob.
Now there was the boys are in Hagrid's band, and this is the end of the chapter.
The end of the band.
The boys are in Hagrid's band, and there is a concert tonight, which they are apparently late for, so they're rushing, I believe.
Just want to say, and this is to 13-year-old you, not to you now. The world building's incredible. Just
Mahatma Gandhi, Hagrid as a band. Like, what else could happen?
All
in
that
this
in 21 chapters.
Yeah.
Wow.
And there's more chapters to go.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, I bet there is.
That's amazing, if I do say so myself. All right.
Once they were in the Great Hall, Hagrid was at the front with his microphone. Didn't think they'd need a microphone in the Wizarding World. I thought just the Cornelius Fudge. Yeah. They've just got a little shore and a little setup. Yeah,
look,
nice.
I think Hagrid likes it old school.
Yeah.
Yeah, he likes it old school. Not that microphones are old school. Like, I'm sure the wand predates the microphone.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want to hold an umbrella up to his throat. It just doesn't look the same. Not the same vibe. I get it.
You know what's funny? I'm Radio Mike, but in Harry Potter world, I'd probably be Radio Wand. Because they use wands for microphones, and that's what Radio Mike is a play on. So I'd be Radio Wand. My name is Radio Wand, and this is my...
You're at it again.
Up to his old tricks.
Highlight the podcast. This is the little snippet you put at the start of the podcast.
Yeah, Radio
you got the
Wand.
highlights. You just grab people in. You got the rebrand. All right. All right, let's go from the top here. Once they were in the Great Hall, Hagrid was at the front with his microphone. Hurry up, he yelled. The audience is getting cranky. Michael and Tom
Could you
looked
do
around.
that in a Hagrid voice? That's not really a Hagrid voice.
Yeah, okay. It's just I'm just getting a little bit fatigued. It was all the
Well,
action.
that's all right. That's all right. You don't have to.
No, Mike.
We are very close to the end.
All right, Hagrid's going to be an American for today. Hurry up, he yelled. The audience is getting cranky. Michael and Tom looked around. There were 3 people in the room. Mr. Charger, Derek, and someone they thought was dead. Dragon Mailboy.
So Dragon Mailboy, a character who died back in like chapter 6, is now seemingly alive in front of the boys' faces. And we leave it there for another week. Mikey D, thank you for reading that. You did a great job.
Thank you so much.
What did you think of that out of interest? And you can criticize it. Like, what did you actually think? Let's be serious. Like, what did you think of that?
It's just not. It's like when you go through your old primary school portfolios and you get to read your old writings.
Yeah,
it's like that. It's kind of sweet and cute and nostalgic. I really liked it. I thought it was fun.
Yeah, and do you have any like theories on what you think? Like, what's Dragon Mailboy doing there? You know, I know you've just dropped into a book 21 chapters in, but what do you reckon's going to happen?
I reckon somehow Dragon Mailboy is going to try and tamper with the concert.
Okay.
I think he's probably...
So he's not really up to anything too sinister. He just wants to sabotage Hagrid.
What's Hagrid got in his life besides this concert? So I'd like to think it's very sinister.
Yeah, okay, that's true. If you're a fan of Hagrid, it's quite sinister. It's almost as bad as Voldemort framing Hagrid for the Chamber of Secrets.
Almost. Yeah.
Not quite.
I think it needs at least 2 chapters to be dedicated to the sabotagery.
The
SB.
Yeah.
A couple of chapters to the SB, and I think Dragon Mailboy is probably going to get potentially, and I don't know, maybe there's a bit big brain energy here. I reckon we're going to get a full POV from his perspective coming chapters. Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's another week of HP and the B. TY to Mikey D for CI coming in today.
MO.
What's that?
That's much obliged.
Much
Not
obliged,
MB.
Not
Has
MB.
been corrected. Redacted the MB.
Redacted it. RD'd it. Mikey, can you give all your stuff a bit of a plug? Go check out these reels on his Instagram. What's your Insta?
Mikey D Graham. That's MikeYDGram. You can check me out on YouTube at Mikey D. I'm not the battle rapper Mikey D. Just shouts out to him. He was great in his heyday.
Collab coming.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Yeah.
I think he might have dropped off the face of the world for a little bit, but I'm
Right.
trying to get him to resurface.
It's amazing he dropped off the face of the world because he'd have to be in space now, I guess. That
Well-
sounds like it came out of Harry Potter and the Boy.
These conspiracy theories just left, right and center.
Pretty crazy.
Of course, you can email me at mikeydidatio@gmail.com. Just about whatever. If you've got emotional problems, I'm happy to email you with that.
Cool.
I'm bored at the moment.
If they've got emotional problems,
Just email
you're
me.
happy to. You said you said if you've got emotional problems, I'm happy to email you with that. Does that
Okay.
mean that you just have a premonition? You're like, sam.smith@gmail.com.
No, yeah. That's exactly what I was saying.
Okay.
So,
So you might get a random email from Mikey.
yeah, so how this works is you email me your email address. I know I already have your email address. So email me your email address and then I'll email you back what's going on in your life. And then we can kind of just chat from there.
And what's your Spotify? Is it Mikey D as well?
Oh, yeah, MKYD. I probably should probably, MKYD.
And so the song, Mikey's song is it called I Get Scared Sometimes?
It is.
It's
Yeah.
really good. It's I reckon it's got like mad 21 Pilots vibes. Like it's a really chilled out.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how to describe it. Like an
I don't
indie
either.
electronic
Yeah.
pop kind of vibe with some really
Yeah.
like smooth vocals. So yeah, check it
Thank
out.
you.
It's really cool. Check out all Mikey's stuff. My name's been Radio Wand. This is Mikey D, and we will catch you in the next episode. Goodbye forever until next week.
CYL.
See you later.
Catch you later. CYL.